All right. So, women in film.
Yeah.
How did you start this crazy journey?
How far should we go back?
Far back.
Well, hi everybody. I want to hear everyone's story. It seems kind of weird. This is me. I was born in Florida. But yeah, I was born in Florida. And I guess I didn't really, it's kind of a weird story. I mean, I don't know, not really that weird, but I didn't really grow up around artists or know anybody that worked in film or any of that. Very like lower middle class. People had normal jobs. But I always really loved film, kind of obsessively, and thought, okay, maybe I'll be an actress. You know, that's what girls do. That's, you know, what you do if you want to be in a movie, I guess. I never really thought about who made the movie or if there was anything behind it other than you can be in a movie. And so I think I started doing more of that kind of thing, like making little videos with my siblings and neighbors and routines, and then like community theater and writing plays and more acting stuff. So I did, got an agent and did more like commercials and TV and that kind of thing. But then at some point, it just became clear, like, I don't know, there's a lot of sitting around when you're acting. And I just was always watching what everybody was doing, like the lighting and what's going on. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like, what if we shot it this way? And people would get really annoyed with me, like, can you just go over there and wait till we call you? Like, this is a Target commercial, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but what if I walk in like this and I grab this? And everyone was just really annoyed with me. And so I wasn't even putting two and two together, like, oh, I think I could be a director, you know? It was really more in college. I got really inspired by, I watched Another Earth. I don't know if, has anyone seen that movie? Yeah, well, it's a great movie. You should check it out. And what was cool about it, I like got really obsessed with it and researched it, and it was just a couple people and they wrote it, and the guy who also was a writer shot the whole thing, and they got the guy from In the Bedroom, I forget his name, but they got him to be a role, and it just was a really beautiful film, and it just made me feel something. And I was like, oh shit, can we cuss? Are there bleeps? Okay. Like you can, you can just make it. I don't know. I'm, not the brightest light bulb. Like it just hit me like, oh, I can write something and make something if I want. Possibly, maybe. Let's try it. And so I had a DSLR because I've always been into photography, and I was working like taking portraits of people and high school portraits or portraits of whatever to make extra money. And then, I was like, I think I can make a short film on this shitty camera. So I just wrote this script. I've always wrote stories ever since I was a kid, plays, books that no one wants to read, just always writing things that no one cares about. And so that part was fun and easy. I wrote the story, and I had a neighbor who, she was 84. I'm like, yes, great, she'll be great. She'll star in this. And she was down, and then I shot this short, and I just literally, like, I didn't know how to do anything, so I just went to YouTube and, how do I press play on this camera, and what's a frame rate, and wow, I don't know how to do audio, like anything. I didn't know how to do anything. So I just watched a million tutorials while we were doing this, and then I also learned how to edit and then color. It just like, no one was gonna do it, so I just had to do it. And then it actually weirdly turned out okay. And someone was like, you should submit it to this festival. And I'm like, what? No. But I did, and it got in, and it got into all these other festivals, and then it got a distribution deal, and it was weird. It was just like,
I love how you sound so confused that it was successful.
yeah, I still don't get it. And but I remember, because I literally didn't know what I was doing, I accidentally shot at, I think it was 30, frames per second. And people were like, I remember being in a Q&A, and they're like, why did you choose that? Because it was an experimental category. And I'm like, choose what? Like, oh, yeah. I mean, I just thought it would be, I just really wanted to do something different, I didn't even know I did that. But yeah, that kind of started it, and then I became obsessed. It just felt like, okay, all the things I love, like music and, like all of that. Acting really helped, honestly. I still act sometimes, but it really helps me as a director, I think, because I just have been on the other side a lot. So I kind of feel for actors and know like what that feels like, to be and go. Be vulnerable, like do what we want. And, I just know like what that feels like. And so I love to think of myself as like a actor's director. Like I want to give them time and make them feel like they have space to go. I'm going all over the place.
No, not at all.
But anyways, that's kind of like how it started. And then after the short, I just started doing commercials for the college I was going to, and then more shorts. And then I moved to Austin, so then I got into music, started doing music videos. And then you get kind of repped by different people for music and commercials, and that's where I'm at. And I still make shorts, and I'm in development on a feature film.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know if you could follow any of that, but that's my story.
What do you like? I'm sure there's, pros and cons of each, but if you had to pick a music video or doing more of commercial.
I don't think I would pick. They're very different. Commercials are fun, and you get paid more usually. But music videos are fun also. They're just, you can be really creative, which is nice. And usually they're both just, they're both great. Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you want to show
Different.
someone? Shall we do it?
Oh, sure. When do people ask questions at the end?
At the end.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just hold your question.
Is it playing?
Well, wait, pause.
It's paused.
Great.
Great.
So this is where I met my husband, P.S. So if you do film, sometimes you can meet people and fall in love with them.
Fall in love.
And I did his music video, and we cast another girl, and he was like, well, I think you should be the girl in this video. And I'm like, I'm directing this. I'm not going to be the girl in this video. And he's like, well, then I might have to, maybe we'll go with the other guy. I was like, okay, I'll be the girl in the video. So I had to be the girl in the video and the director, but it's okay, it worked out.
Oh, yeah,
Then
we're
we fell
going
in
to
love.
have to unpack that after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then we fell in
let's do that. Okay. Boom.
Now I gotta watch.
It was a long way to go from Louisiana to Laredo, with everything that they own boxed up in the back of a van. But she would have gone to the moon if that's what it took to follow him. It's funny what love makes you do. Standing alone, there in the kitchen, she's packing up plates again. Standing alone, She is remembering every fight with him, thinking alone, what am I doing here in this ghost town? Now that he's gone, there isn't a reason for me to stick around. And she says, maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Which way to go when every road leads away from the things you wanted? Which way to go when every memory is built like a home that's haunted? Closing your eyes, dream of a place where things turn out the way you planned. Everything dies. Dream of a place where the living resides again. And she said, maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Oh, maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. Maybe I'll move to California with the unbroken part of my heart I still have left. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Okay, so good.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Okay, yeah, you speak to what was it like being the lead actress, also the director, and all of that power as well as pressure.
Yeah, I got asked that recently about just this producer I was working with. We were up for this, bigger commercial, and the budget was really big, and he was kind of crumbling under the idea of the budget and all this stuff. And it's strange, but I just never think about that ever. And I don't think about the money, or I never think about that I'm the director, really. Maybe it helps because I just never really had that aspiration. But I just don't think about it like that. I don't think they're really, technically you're the power role, but it's just a funny label because all it is I'm like a curator. I don't know how to do anything excellent, I'm not excellent in anything. And so my job is just to find those people who are amazing at all of those things and put them together, and we all make it, and that I don't ever really think hard it.
Just speaks to the fact that you love it, that you're not thinking about the idea of it, you're doing it.
I think it would be really hard and challenging if you're thinking about the money, or that you are, responsible for all these people. I think it wouldn't make it very fun.
Yeah, I can
see that. At least
that.
for me. I would definitely crumble, I think.
Did it add steps or times to your day with having to review the last take of yourself? Was that a hard thing for yourself?
Yeah, it definitely adds time.
Yeah.
If you're on, if you're having to act in it, yeah, you have to like, okay. But I edit a lot and I'm used to seeing myself, so I'm not very, I feel like I'm looking at someone else. So I'm not like, oh, I look horrible in that shot, because I look horrible in most shots. I just don't care. So I think, also speaking to that, like I'm an editor, so I think that also makes directing easier or just like streamlined in a way, because I feel like I know how it's going to be put together, at least I can imagine it, and so I know when we have something,
It helps takes pressure off to be like, oh, do we need that extra shot?
Yeah,
No, because
which I think in the end saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Absolutely.
Because like we don't need to shoot the same thing 50 times. We just don't. We got it the first time. We'll shoot an extra one for fun, but like we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least my style and like how I like working, I can't imagine. And I've been there, like as an actor, where someone is like, now drink this, but no, other hand, and then you're doing, oh my god,
It just becomes so robotic.
for 2.5 hours with a sip or something. I get it, but not my thing.
Okay, let's go to some writing and directing. So have you ever been handed something that you maybe haven't written the treatment for, but you're now having to execute, versus you had to do it from the ground up? What are the challenges and pros of either?
Let's see. When I write something, trying to think of like the challenges. Well, the challenges of when you're given something that someone else has written, like an agency or, some kind of script, it becomes this like game of marrying their ideas that aren't really fleshed out to something that you're creatively excited about.
Yep.
So it's just a little dance. Whereas if I have a little more control and I write something, then it's a little more mine from the beginning,
It's manageable,
Yeah.
morphable to what you like. Yeah.
But it's cool, if someone else writes something and then I kind of put my spin on it, then it becomes just a collaboration, It's
Yeah.
fun.
It's awesome.
And probably better than if I was just going to write it.
Okay, so we're gonna show them your Lizzo piece. Do you have anything that you would want to touch on before?
She's awesome. And I had a little baby at the time, and she was awesome. She's cool. She was just like hanging out with him, and he was itty bitty.
Okay. Amazing.
About Lizzo, yeah, she's great. Really great at the flute.
You got to see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
I draw my strength and my confidence from myself. Having a mantra is really important. And the only mantras I have when I'm down are in my music. So when I'm on stage and I'm like, come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. Those are the moments that lift me up when I'm really down. I just think it's wild that we're in a time where teaching self-love and individuality is like not the norm. We should all be born with the idea that everyone is different and everyone is unique, and celebrating diversity first. Different shapes, shades, sizes, personalities, cultures. We're all here to make the world better in our little way. I make self-care music that helps other people. I just want to make people happy.
Awesome. So obviously I love the positive image with that and the scripting of it. And do you think as a woman director you get, either more or interesting opportunities with messaging? Are you picky and choosy with maybe what you would want to attach yourself to? Like, talk to me about being like a woman female director.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I wonder about, some of these, like, did I get that because I'm a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I mean, hopefully. But, yeah, that was fun, too, because there wasn't really you know, there was just like a couple ideas, and they're like, how can we, you know, make what she's saying come alive? And I'm like, let's get our girls dancing. Let's get the girls and, you know, some chicks from the crowd dancing. Like, it was just really fun, you know, just showing like women, and, you know, she's great. But I think, wait, what was the question?
Like being a female director, and when it comes to the creatives, do you have opportunities maybe because you're a female director to?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think like maybe, I don't know if that's really on people's radar, like we need to get a woman. Maybe in that, I'm hoping that was the case for this, but maybe. Like, I think I'm kind of in this zone where I'm known in a way of as being really good with kids and families, and like getting stuff out of children that people need, you know, for products and things. And so I don't know if it's because I'm a woman, but I think it's like you just become kind of, and I didn't even know that until recently. Like, somebody that reps me was like, yeah, you're like known as like being, what?
How does that happen?
What am I? I didn't even know that. But I think you just kind of, you go with what you like, and then it kind of becomes like, oh, that's kind of your style, and that's kind of your vibe, and then it just word of mouth kind of thing. I hope that I would get things. I mean, Gear 7, you tell me, did I get the spot this week because I was a woman? No, I don't think so. Maybe because I'm from Texas.
There we go.
That might help. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
More
ask the people behind the jobs.
More so like in the creative tone, like when it comes to, like, do you, like you mentioned that you had your children on set. Talk to me about work-life balance while also knowing that you're the first one on the project and you're the last one on the project. How do you balance both?
Well, it was a little easier before COVID. I mean, maybe it's not a thing anymore. In Texas, it's not really a thing anymore. But, you know, before all of that happened, it was really easy. Like, I started working with my first child. We shot I don't suggest this, but we shot a music video in Marfa, in the middle of nowhere. He was 5 weeks old, and I just had a nanny, and like, you know, I'd go and like breastfeed him. I'm like, hey, everyone working on this, sorry if you've never seen a boob before, but breastfeeding's gonna happen, you know? It's a little itty bitty baby. And if someone's uncomfortable with it, then, you know, they can walk away, whatever, but I'm not gonna we're gonna keep working here. And I have been on sets where like people who have really young kids, they're not, unless they're the director, they can't bring their kid. And I found that really horrible. Like, if you're the stylist, like, bring your kid if you're breastfeeding. Like, it's fine. Yeah. You know, you don't have to sit in a room pumping. You know, I know they have the wireless pumps now, but it's all inconvenient. Pumps are inconvenient. So, you know, I just, like, if you have a little kid or you need to make a call, you know, and talk to your teenage kid, like, just make the call.
No, I love that.
What we're doing is not that important. It's just not. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge being a mother and working in anything, because especially what we do, because our hours are really long. But yeah, it helps but during COVID, I had another baby, and I had both experiences, and that was really tough because I couldn't bring him around. Wow. And I also shot another music video with the other one when he was like 4 weeks old, and I brought him to the city where we were shooting, but like I couldn't. It was pretty bad because I couldn't like have him around, and I didn't even know that if the baby's not around, then you're sorry guys, but like your milk dries up, and then you have to like lay with your baby for 3 days, just completely like just laying there for 3 days until you get back to normal. And so you're like, never again. No, and it was really hard. So it was definitely easier before all the COVID restrictions and everything. 'Cause I just brought Buddy everywhere.
That's
And he loved it. I mean, especially before he could walk, he just would like be up in a little corner and play pen or something. And people love babies. Come on.
Very true.
But yeah, scheduling, like I said, being a mother in any career, any industry, like it's just difficult. You have to be good at planning and managing things.
While on a project that's in post, while one in pre, and then what's for dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And hopefully you have an amazing partner or support system where, it enables you to do what you want to do, what you love doing. Like I'm lucky I have a great partner, and my mom is awesome. She's there with my kids now, even though she's blowing up my phone. When are you coming back? But she's great, and she gets them to school and takes one to soccer practice, and you just need support.
Did anybody give you advice ahead of this, Parenthood Plus, or is it a lot of learning on the job?
Learn as you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably should have asked more questions. Should have gone to more things like this. But no, I didn't really know.
If you had any advice for 2 years ago yourself, what would it be?
Say yes to less things. Yeah.
I felt that.
I'm a busybody type person. Like when I get really sick, my family makes fun of me because I'm cleaning and just doing stuff, and my husband's like, "You want to just watch a show?"
I
And
call
I'm
that putsy and
And
around.
I'm like, I'm relaxing. This is me. I'm totally chilling, So it's just hard for me to be idle. But I wish I just, not like I have any regrets, but if I did, have advice for myself, it's at some point, you don't need to say yes to everything. I get it when you're starting out and you're, learning and soaking everything up and trying and figuring out what you want to do and, what excites you. But at some point, you have to realize, okay, I think I've gotten to a point where I can say no. Unless it really excites you, don't do it.
Is there something that maybe not necessarily tomorrow, but you'd be excited to challenge yourself with that you haven't done maybe?
I want to make a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which seems insane. But I want to do that.
Okay. Do we want to watch one more piece? Do you have anything you'd like to say?
About this?
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of making a movie, developing it, and I made a short film from the feature, and the tone of this teaser is not really accurate to the feature, but the short film's a lot more dramatic than the feature. The feature is a dark comedy, but I had trouble kind of creating that tone with the short. There's definitely, the last scene in the short is the tone of the feature, but I picked the most dramatic scene, so it just happens to be a lot more of a dramatic showcase. But
sounds fun.
I love it, and it's premiering in 2 weeks at the Florida Film Fest, and it's in competition, which is exciting because only 5 films are in competition.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
let's
excited.
watch it.
And that's the whole short film. Just
Passing through. We're just passing through.
can you imagine?
Okay. I don't know what's happening. Justin? I've lost
What about
control.
you? Where are you from?
I am actually from Florida.
What?
So, and the whole thing is weird because I actually started in acting.
Hey.
Yeah. Tampa. Stop.
Oh
You're
my
Tampa?
God. Bradenton.
What?
Yes.
I'm Hillsborough area, Tampa.
Okay. Just right over the skyway, girl.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I moved to Georgia, though. So, like, you're Austin, and I went Georgia.
Well, I went to Louisiana first. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see if
Sorry,
this is
we're
working.
just having a moment.
Thank you.
Oh, that's one of my babies.
Oh, yeah.
How cute is he?
Let's talk.
I miss him.
So cute. Okay. It's not working. You can
Bless you.
talk a little during this too if you want. What was this like?
It's short.
Got it.
And drift into a dream. You're closer than it seems. If you could just give up control, and though it isn't easy letting go, close your eyes. Your worries will away. You resign yourself to fight another day on the other side. You're falling through a window, where the spirit hides. You've only to surrender your body to the tide and close your eyes. I'll meet you out in space. The hour is getting late. I know you're tired. My heart has one desire. You'd only close your eyes.
Oh yeah. So good.
Oh, thanks. That just came out, and I promise I do other music videos than for Robert. But it's kind of fun because he always needs content. And lucky for him, he lives with me. But that one's special to me because we moved to Fort Worth during the pandemic from Austin, and that's our house and just our life. And now we have 2 kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet to me.
Okay. Well, do we want to open it up to the audience? Your favorite part for some
Yes!
Q&A?
I want to hear about you guys. Where are you from?
She means it.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
What's the name of your short film that you made?
Passing through.
Is that the first one you made?
No. That one, the very first one, shit. I think that one was called New Era. But I've made about 6 or 7 shorts. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Anybody else have any questions?
Microphone.
When working with people, I find sometimes it's hard to work with some people just because personalities clash, and whether that's with actors or with even people on your crew. How do you deal with that, like, the best way that you can?
Oh, that's a great question. I deal with that a lot. I work with people, some people, I won't name names, with like different disabilities and things like that. And I think maybe that's also, I don't know, like I don't want to be a genderist or something, but you know, I think women just have, you know, generally are more empathetic as humans, you know. And I think that helps. But I mean, I deal with that a lot. I think also being a mother helps, because sometimes when I deal, was that me?
Absolutely not.
Sometimes when I come across a circumstance or a person that's being a little irrational, I'm very used to irrational behavior, having a toddler. And so I just think about it as they're just 4 years old. And how can we, you know, just handle the situation? I just like to think of it as like irrational, they're a toddler. How would I react? You know, I mean, I'm probably hard to deal with sometimes too. You know, everybody has their own stuff going on, and, you know, you just kind of, I just wouldn't think about it too much. Just kind of hold them in their space, like give them what they need, and then move on. You know, don't give it too much attention.
Awesome. Anybody else? Oh.
Is that Rain?
How has, like, developing a feature, what has that process looked like for you? What has, like, whether it's finding collaborators, working from a script, making the short, like, what has that whole process been like for you?
Well, it's still happening. It is quite a process, let me tell you. Like, I started making stuff because, you know, I wanted to make movies. And now, about 10, 11 years later, I'm finally circling back to, like, the original reason why I did all this. But, you know, I had to make money, kept getting pregnant, like, things happen. So now I'm like, okay, want to make a movie. And yeah, it's a true story. It happened to me when I was about 20. And it's this story about my father. He adopted me and he died, but it's hilarious. Like, I know it doesn't sound hilarious, but it's a dark comedy because it's the last week he was alive. And when it was happening, I just was looking around like, this is insane. You know, someone needs to tell this story. So I got interviews of my family when it was happening and after it happened, after he died. Their perspectives, because I wasn't sure what I'd do with this, but it was just such an insane story. Like, I knew it had whether it'd be a book or whatever, which really helped. Honestly, having all those interviews really helped when I went to write the feature. It took me a long time to feel comfortable writing it because it's so personal. It took me I think I started when my first son was born. So he was a little baby and I'd start going through it. But having those interviews helped me so much because it really, like, some of the dialogue came directly from the interviews. So, like, each character has its own cadence and, like, they're fully realized people. I think a lot because of the interviews, because I was able to really capture their voice. And then, I mean, it took me a long time to write the script, like drafts. I kept switching who the protagonist was. So I'd like write one draft where it was like my character, and then the next draft was the dad as the lead, and then it just went all over the place. But I think that helped too, because it just made me understand the story so much more. So like drafts and drafts, and then at some point I was like, I think it's there, and I started sharing it with certain people, and because I had no idea, like, I'm starting to learn how to make a movie, but like, yeah, they're all different worlds. Like, commercials, music videos, like they're just completely different. And so, you know, like, yeah, okay, my husband is a musician. Cool. Okay, that doesn't help. Like, cool. His agent's at WME. I'm like, yeah, hook it up. Like, how can I get an agent? You know, and he's like, well, they're two different departments. They don't even they're not in the same building. You know, like it's just all, they're not really interconnected. So I'm still figuring that out. But over the couple years, like, you know, a script would get to somebody, like a couple producers in Austin helped me make the short. They don't know how to find money, but they believed in it and helped me make it. So they didn't get paid or anything. And they helped me find money to make the short. And I found a little money too. But then, you know, that really, you know, their whole idea was, let's make a proof of concept and then people will just be throwing money at you. And I'm like, where's that money, guys? You know, like, cool, I'm glad we wasted a year. This is great. But it's weird, you know, you just can't, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm being helpful at all, but everybody has a different path. And, you know, like, you can't think about the end result, you know, because it would be so discouraging and you'll give up. And if I had known that, like, making a movie was this hard, I probably never would have started writing it. And I'm so far in at this point, I'm like, oh, this is getting made. Even if I'm 70, when it happens, it's gonna be made. And, you know, it just takes so long, but you just keep going. And it's like a brick on the building you're building, you know? And like every day I just try to think of what's something I can do toward that goal. One little thing, an email, a call, like submit the script somewhere, anything, you know? And it's starting to get some traction. Like it got to a big producer, but he's unfortunately like doing this major Anne Hathaway movie in Germany, and I'm just like, come on, I'll wait. But then, you know, he passed it to someone else, and it's getting there, guys. But, and I'm really excited because I'm trying to figure out like who can play my dad's role, and right now it's Andrew Dice Clay's reading it and John C. Reilly, and I'm just like, you know, who knows? You never know. So it's just a really long, and it's not always long for everybody. Like sometimes, you know, depending on the idea or what you're doing or your financial situation, like I have friends that like, they're rich. They just pay to have their own movie made. And it's great. And it wins Tribeca, you know, or like whatever. It's just a different route for everybody. And I'm realizing that and just kind of go with the flow. Yeah.
Okay, we got some online questions from Austin. Has it been going?
This is online?
Yeah. Okay, what the film industry still being largely male dominated, what advice would you give other women either just starting out in production or mid-career?
Just do it. Just
do
don't think
it.
about being the lady. I don't think that's really a thing on people's minds. I mean, yeah, just do it. Don't think about it.
That's perfect.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be like, don't have kids. But like, if you want more time and you really want like to dedicate yourself to something and have the time to do it completely, I mean, having a family does limit your time. And that's the thing, like being a woman, it is different for men. Like I think they can have families and have the time. So it is like, you really have, if you want to be a mother in this job and you love other things, like just know you're going to be spread thin, but you can do it all, you know.
You are.
Yeah, I mean, I do think though, I mean, to be real, like I do think about if I didn't have kids, I could probably be on my third movie, you know, like it's just, but who cares? You know, I'll get to the table late, so that's fine. There's no rush. I think with our culture, be like America specifically, we're so obsessed with like youth and doing things young, and we have to be, everybody's idolizes these like young, oh, they're only 22 and they made this feature, and it's like, good for them. But like, why does the age matter? Like, what are the other circumstances? Who's their dad? Come on.
Like their dad.
Oh, did they pick up a camera when they were 4 and start making, like, good for them. But like, everyone has their own timeline.
Very true. Okay, this is our last online. How do you find yourself in front of people that want to listen to your pitch for a music video, aside from having a reputation for doing so?
Say it again.
Yeah, I'm like, wait.
How do I?
Yeah. How do you find yourself in front of people that want to listen to your pitch for a music video, aside from having a reputation for doing so?
Well, I have different reps for music videos. So I'll get asked to, like, do you want to write for this? And I'll listen to it. Usually how it happens is I'll listen to a song, and if I don't like the song, I can't write for it. Because I just can't do it anymore. Because I edit too, and you gotta listen to that song. Yeah. Oh, you guys, you gotta listen to that song 1,000 times more. And so at this point, I need to like the song. But also, I just kind of, if an idea doesn't pop up within the first couple listens, I just pass, because, I think with something creative, like, you should be inspired, But before I had reps and that kind of thing, I was surrounded by musician friends. So like, the first music video I ever made was for he was a rapper, and he's awesome. And he just was like, do you want to make a music video? And I'm like, can I? Yeah, let's make something. And so we just made something. And then it was so fun. And so then I just went to like my community, people, and just started making stuff with them. And then, yeah, people like companies and such, like once you make something good, like they're going to find you and like want to help, or be a part of what you're doing. So then you'll get reps and stuff that way. But I do know, some of my friends who are also music video directors, I know that this is done. I've never done this, but it's a way to do it is they find a song they like, and they just go and make the music video, make sure it doesn't have a music video already, but they go make it, and then they'll send it to the artist or their management, which is crazy. Like, good for them, but they like go make it, and then the artist is like, cool, they just have free content now, because these labels, like, they need content like crazy. So especially if you make something great, everyone's going to be stoked. They didn't even have to pay for it, So that's a way some of my friends have gotten into music videos, is they just went out, even if they spent their own money, and they made this music video for, an artist they liked.
Wow, it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's hungry.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart.
Okay, and then this is my question is, have you had a single mentor from the beginning of this that has been with you throughout this, and now have you been finding yourself being the mentor for someone else?
No. So, you listen to these podcasts, and you just see these interviews with certain directors or anybody, and they're like, yes, I was in college, or I was in 4th grade, and Mr. Steinberg, he saw something in me, and he just held my hand, led the way. Like, I wish, I was like always waiting for my moment, like, when is a teacher going to notice how amazing I am? And no one did. No, I've never really had that sounds so sad, a mentor, but I have, I have in other ways, like my peers and my friends and people that their work I love, like I will, reach out to them, or, so in a way, yes, they're mentors, but I don't have this single person that I've looked up to since I was a young lass. And, I've sent them all my work and got their note. Like, I don't have any of that. But I don't think you need that also. I think there's so many inspiring people, and there's so much out there, and you can learn so much from podcasts and books, and just, like just recently I like to pick and choose the things I'm curious about, and I guess it just stems from the beginning when I was just trying to learn, how to do everything. But even recently, the Everything Everywhere All at Once movie, so good.
So
oh my
good.
God, yeah. They got all the trophies. I'm so excited for them. But I was curious how they did all that choreography, all the fighting, all the stuff. And I didn't know that, a choreographer, they go film everything, and then they give it to the director. These are our shot ideas. I didn't know that's a thing. They go plan all, the fighting, and then they film the cool sequences themselves. I didn't know that. But, thanks to the Daniels, I learned it on a podcast. So, yeah, I just, that is awesome if you have a person in your life that is this single mentor, but it's also awesome if you don't have it, because you can have 100 mentors, and also I learned so much by people that are in my world and, in my type of position. So they don't have to be some superstar,
No, it's awesome. It's almost like your future self is your mentor, of the way that you're hungry for more information, want to learn, and you just get to be in your element. It's awesome. Well, do we have any closing remarks, or can you leave us all with, a piece of advice that is not maybe just a cliche, but something that you actually live by?
What's your piece of advice?
You were born once, don't die a copy.
Ooh,
Mark Twain.
that's good. Well, I like to kind of live by this weird philosophy that I kind of got from a bunch of Zen Tao type philosophers of, follow your fear. I think fear is an interesting, lamppost for what you should be doing. Clearly there are things if you're afraid, leave, but just, something comes up and, I don't think I can do that. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have the skill set. I can't do that. That's fear, and you should do that because clearly, you need to grow, and that's something that you should do. So anything like that, if I'm approached by anyone or any opportunity that makes me feel really nervous or scared, I'm I gotta do this, because clearly I need to learn and grow. And I think, that kind of philosophy can extend to more than just your career, but it can, love, you have to be fearless and revealing yourself so that someone else can reveal themselves and you can love each other. But yeah, that's kind of my
Love it. Follow
life
your fear.
philosophy.
Amazing. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Erica. This
Thank
was so
you
fun.
guys. Thanks for coming. I hope you learned something.